Okay, seventh grade, I won't be here on Thursday, but I wanted to make sure that you had the same lesson on the individual part that everybody else had. So for homework, you're supposed to watch the video, and then the individual part, once you've gone through the entire lit circle, this is what I want you to look at first. So you should have picked up a paper that says illusions and it's got this little story blot. I wanted to give you a visual representation of what illusions should look like. So in a story, you have the climax and the characters and the plot and all of these different parts, and then your illusion is going to reference something outside of it. So your story's set in New York, but then it talks about a mythological story, or it mentions Zeus, or it mentions Rapunzel or Dodge City. That's going to be a reference outside, and that is going to be the illusion. And the point is what is added to it, to the story. What inference do you make? You have to make those deeper connections. So go ahead and turn your paper over to the back. I see that this is backwards, but read along with me. What doesn't fit? A story element might not fit if it's a biblical name, an object, a place, situation, or event. You know, in this moment, and especially in this book, they use a lot of biblical allusions, but there's also historical allusions. So my question to you right now, and I want you to stop the video and talk with your group, what is the definition of illusion that you saw from the video? And then, what were the 3 most used allusions in literature today? So, if you answered those questions, then it was Shakespeare allusion, historical, or not historical, biblical allusion, and mythological allusion. But it could also be a historical allusion. In MLK's speech, I Have a Dream, he talked a lot about using the Constitution, alluded to that, and also the Gettysburg Address that Abraham Lincoln alluded to. And there were important connections with that. One, Abraham Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation, and he is trying to get the civil rights freedoms, and he was in front of the Lincoln Memorial, so it was alluding to that this was already in place. So back to the sheet of paper. The biblical allusions, if it's an apple, it's more than an apple, unless you're talking about Johnny Appleseed. If it's a character named Eve, then you're probably looking at the Adam and Eve story. If it's Michael or Gabriel, those are angels in the Bible. A flood, a large boat, you're looking at the Bible as literature, not as a religion, just the stories and how they're alluded to. The first American writers, that's where they learned how to read and to write. So in turn, they did have those allusions in it. So if you have a character, let's say the story is set in modern day New York, as the paper is talking about, and then they talk about Dodge City. So do you know what the allusion is to Dodge City? If you don't know, it's an old western town, and they used to have, not a lot of law was there, and they used to have these big fights. And the 2 men would have their guns drawn, it would be high noon, you'd have that music, da-da-da-da-da-da. The tumbleweed would go past, and they'd do the 10 steps, and they'd turn around and shoot. So if you have a story and it's set in modern day New York, and then all of a sudden they say these 2 people are walking towards each other on the street, and it's going to be a Dodge City scene. What is that implying about what's going to happen? Pause and talk with your group. So what it's talking about is someone's going down, whether it's a fight with words, whether it's a fist fight, whether they're using sorts of weapons, something's going to go down where there's going to be that fight. It's going to be that Dodge City scene. So the next thing is 2 children discuss a recent school lesson about Pandora's box. Well, we know with Pandora, she was tricked. All the evil was let out in the world because of her curiosity, but there was also hope. So something's going to happen in that story. She wishes her hair was like Rapunzel's. They use fairy tales as allusions a lot too. If the object's described more than it should, like it takes time to stop, then that's something you need to key in on. If a character talks in a way that is unlike anything else. In the video that I had you watch, it was Aladdin, and then it starts quoting Shakespeare. Shakespeare's quoted a lot and alluded to a lot. Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, all of those are alluded to. So that would be something that you focus on and you pay attention to. If a word's repeated often, that's something you need to pay attention to because it could be alluding. Now, if you use sunshine, but there's not a story behind it, then it's not going to be illusion. So what I want you to do right now is there's a T chart that looks like this. You have Adam and Eve and the giver, and just have that out. The first thing I want you to do is to go around and talk about any illusions that you might have saw or seen while you were reading. One of them would have been about Jonas's name, and that's a reference to Jonah. And Jonah was told that he was supposed to go put judgment on the city of Nineveh, and he decided not to do that and ran away. And then he ended up having to go to Nineveh and create great change when he did what he was supposed to. The allusion to Jonas, Jonas is also selected and is considered special. And he's supposed to receive all of these memories. And does he or could he create change? He's different than everybody else. He's called upon to do this special job. Do you see the connection between his name and the illusion and that inference? It makes you a smart reader. And I'll be honest, there's some illusions that I have to go look up, and that's okay. I'm very well read, but there's still some things that I have to look at. So you should be a smart reader, an informed reader, to look those up until you know them all. And I will say that a smart reader gets the inference. So if you can connect those pieces, that's what you want to do. So pause the video and talk about the illusions that you brought and what you think could be an illusion and what could not be illusion. And now I want you to get out the T-chart. So the illusion in here is, and I actually, your discussion director should have given you the passage from the giver. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes versions of Adam and Eve. And then we're going to actually do the lesson. This is actually a group. It was going to be individual. The instructions say individual, but I'm making it a group assignment because I want you all to kind of pick each other's brains to figure out the answer. What I'm actually grading is this part down here. What greater meaning is added to the story through this illusion? That's the important part. You telling me what the illusion is, that's step one. Step two is telling me how and why that's important. So Adam and Eve, first people on earth, beautiful utopian place, everything perfect. The only rule they had was not to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. It was an apple. They're tricked into it. They eat it. They now see good and bad. And they're kicked out of the Garden of Eden and forever punished because of their mistake that they made. So an illusion is not going to tell the same story verbatim, but the apple changes, and it's the first thing that Jonas sees. So what I want you to do on your chart is to go back through and think about the story that I just told of Adam and Eve, and what are the main components of it. So they're not supposed to do something. They eat from this tree of knowledge of good and evil. When you think of the Twilight cover, he's holding an apple, and the author did that on purpose. The reason why she did this is because he's offering her knowledge. Whether you think it's evil or good, or what Bella thinks it's evil or good, that's up to you. But he's offering her the knowledge. So that's why that apple's on there. Pop culture references will use illusions as well. It's just something that's throughout. So go ahead and list that on your paper. And then list the major themes through the giver. We know that there's governmental control. We know that everything is controlled. Your feelings, what is acceptable, the sameness, those things I want you to go through and put it down. You should have 3 or 4. And then I want you to see the connection. So you see this story where now they have the knowledge of good and evil, and what happens? Things change. Here you have the giver that has this utopian society. Is it perfect? Is this a bad choice that Jonas gets it? Why is he chosen for it? So you need to go through and look at all these, and then the thing I'm actually grading is what greater meaning is added to the story by this illusion. So I want you to, with your group, you can come up with a paragraph. Everybody has to turn it in. You should turn in the T-chart. If you have questions, go ahead and email me. Hopefully this will help you with this assignment, and this video will be up on Edmodo. I'm not trying, you do have to look at all these different illusions, pop culture illusions, historical, biblical, you'll have mythological illusions, and there might be some things that you have to look up, and that's okay, as long as you're getting that greater meaning. I'll be back on Friday. It's not due until the end of class on Friday. Friday's going to be a work day for you guys, so if you have questions or you can't get to it, I don't want you to say I didn't understand. You're going to have to tell me what you don't understand. I hope this helps, guys.